Honor Sale Day. Welcome to the Captain's Log, Stardate 6/11/2024. My name is Danjvin, and today we're going to answer all your questions on exactly what to buy during the Honor Sale. Maybe we've been saving for the past 3 months, so we have tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of Honor on tap. How best to spend it for an early game player, mid game, late game, all your questions answered here. But first, it is also a brand new campaign day. Today the campaign features, for the free level of the campaign, we're going to all get copies of Evil Kirk, but we see here Emperor Philippa Georgiou. We'll take a look at her stats, and also for Supremium campaign buyers at the $25 level, a brand new Changeling Kira. Let's jump on over to the big book and take a look at her. She's buried in rocks. She's Changeling Kira. Is this crew worth your hard-earned $25? I'm taking a look at the skill set here, a Sec Dip Eng. So kind of a curious skill set. I don't see, fortunately, Command. I don't see Psi anywhere, so that's a good start. Sec Primaries, though, I think we've had a few of those recently. We'll get around to the skill set in a moment, but I do want to point out here, Tier 2, fantastic initial showing. Typically for the campaign crew, we often see them debuting at usually around Tier 3, maybe even Tier 4. They can be strong, but they just really don't have that top tier power that's usually reserved for things like Voyage exclusive, Gauntlet exclusive, and other types of really high profile carrot in the stick crew. A chance of taking Kirk on the Fleet Boss Battle Bridge. So Changeling Kira, for her to debut at Tier 2, that's a pretty strong showing. Let's see where that comes from. So it looks like we have a few very highly ranked stats here in Event and Shuttle. So number 7 Event overall, probably owing to the fact that not only has she got 9 different traits here, so a few of those have hit as featured traits for events in the past, but also Kira herself has been featured quite often. Also, this crew is, if anybody's seen the Deep Space Nine episode, spoiler alert, apologize if you haven't, it's a variant of the female founder, so this now has 2 separate kind of personas rolled into one crew here. So a pretty safe bet that we're going to see, any of these traits or these 2 personas featured again in an event. Shuttle rating 9.6. That's owing to the enormous boosted sec power here, just under 2,000. And sec shuttles being ubiquitous. Every event features some security shuttles for you, but also a pretty decent voyage ranking. Let's drill down here and take a look at her voyage ranking relative to other crew. So debuting at a total rating of number 32 with a power of 5326. That's the combined voyage rank, all the skills combined at boosted levels. So let's drill down a little bit. I want to look at the primary security and see where she ranks in. Oh, here we go. Surrogate Kira. So this is the one that flies for me pretty frequently, and this Kira is really top of her variant, and also a Sec Primary, but with a med Psi, so completely different skills. So if you wind up picking up Changeling Kira, you're not going to be exactly duplicating something you already have, but if you are trying to get at least one of each persona to get some event coverage, you may want to actually go for the retrievable Surrogate Kira rather than paying into this campaign. Although it's not going to give you complete coverage, it's actually, on paper here, a little bit of a better crew, a little bit weaker in terms of voyage rank at 5296, but ranking higher overall just because of the scarcity of the Sec Med skill pair. Among other top contenders here, we see Grady, the Voyage exclusive, one of the most recent ones, I think, right behind Simon Van Gelder. Really a tremendous voyage power here and a pretty good skill set with Sec Dip Eng. I also saw down at the bottom here Void Defender Chakotay. This crew also the original Voyage exclusive, and slipping a little bit now down to Voyage rank 46 overall. A few other retrievables in here, but mostly we see at the top of this list Honor Hall, Out of Time Burnham. We'll get to Bridge Picard in a few days when he debuts. Wait for that one, folks. But some pack crew and other crew that haven't yet hit the portal, so really not a bad get. If you are a spender in the campaign, you could do far worse than Changeling Kira. She's just got a lot of potential for use. That's what you want. If you're going to be spending on a crew, you want a crew that's going to show up all the time, that's going to get good use in every aspect of the game, and I think that Changeling Kira will be that for the people who do choose to invest. Moving on from Changeling Kira, the other featured crew, let's take a look at Philippa Georgiou, see if she's worth it. This is an ancient crew, 2018, so yeah, 6-year-old crew, and really showing it with voyage rank 565. Really, even just barely scraping top 100 in event playability just for all the Discovery events. With Discovery wrapping up, I don't foresee a lot of those in the future. Her main power here is just for her collections alone. So if you're buying the campaign, if you already had 1 star or even no stars on her, getting 4 out of 5 will get you real close to getting some really nice collections. Culture Impact, Ruthless Aggression are both full stat boosting collections. Star Trek Discovery is once, I think, every 3 collection thresholds, and then these last 2, Smoke and Mirrors and Royal Highnesses, are relatively easy to top out. They are kind of in need of an expansion of their reward thresholds, so we'll look for that in the future. But right now, it's actually pretty easy to cap those without going after a whole lot of golds. So really, even some limited collection potential. This is an afterthought. I think with Kira being so strong as it is, you'll have to consider whether you're going to invest in the campaign based solely on her. And really, I wouldn't even consider Georgiou's playability very much at all. Command, Sec Dip. What more do I have to say? So that's a good start to our campaign. Before we jump into the honor sale and maybe even do some polls, let's take a look at another offering here we have in the Star Trek web store, store.startrektimelines.com. So we were promised in an in-game mail yesterday that we'd see some added value to a couple of the offerings here in the store. I'm going to scroll down to the new campaign release. We were promised we'd see a little extra honor, and sure enough we do. So this may be a little bit of an advantage that we see for the new expanded web store, where we can not only get the discounted price down from $25 on the premium campaign, but also get a little bit of a bonus honor. So I guess they're trying to reward people for being early adopters here. If you can kind of get the campaign and coincide with the honor sale, you might be able to get a little bit extra. 1,000 isn't a ton. It's not really going to get you anywhere even close to just a single one of the daily 10,000 honor polls. So, really wouldn't break the math too much for me. I think they need to give us a little bit more. Most players might find that just investing on your phone and taking advantage of whatever loyalty programs you have there, like Google Play has rewards, might actually be better for you. We'll scroll a little bit further down. I'll show you in the giveaways section. This is always here now, by the way. It'll just be empty if they're not offering anything that particular week. We usually see these refreshed every Tuesday. They last for 7 days. And here we can get 1,000 honor for free, so long as we just put in our in-game number. We're going to switch back to the game. Let's do some honor sale polls. So I'll talk a little bit about what I do. So I'm what we would consider a late game player. I have a couple hundred fully fused legendary cards. I'm nowhere near what the players who have been in this game for 7 or 8 years are at, though. If I were an early game player, and I'm looking at these different offers here, legendary pull seems like a good deal. I can buy as many as I want, no purchase limit, 10,000 honor apiece, and I'm guaranteed to get 1 legendary card. But then right next to it here, I see this legendary Behold. It's also 10,000 honor, purchase limit 1 per day. So you could get up to 7 of these total in the event. Is it worth it? If you were a brand new player, is there real value in getting a legendary Behold, a Begold? We have answered this question a few times already. There are objective events that give us Begolds as a reward for completing all of the different tasks. We also get them as a drop for the Continuum missions. So if you're playing your Continuum missions on the regular, now the new
missions get Cupids to help you craft equipment. Oh, I came up with the names myself. Couldn't you tell?
Thanks, John Delancey. So all of us are now familiar with the legendary Behold that we get for free. So that's pretty neat, about a 10,000 honor value, I guess, and a limited one at that. But we've all opened these already if we've been able to achieve at that higher level. So we kind of know what the result is. And most frequently, what do we get when we get a legendary Behold? Usually a bunch of middle tier stuff, and statistically that makes sense that we're going to get things anywhere in the tier 8 to tier 4. And we'll have a selection of them, sure. We do get a little bit of choice. But does that choice really, make much of a difference on our roster? Maybe not. The one thing that's for sure, though, is the citations are just a fantastic value. And not just because they're the wild card. I mean, you can add them to any crew in the game, even ones that are not in the portal, ones that you've gotten from special releases like Chances Taken Kirk or things from the Honor Hall. But you can do it anytime you want. A lot of times these legendary Beholds, you have to open them. Like for instance, in this honor sale, immediately you cannot bank them. So that means it's going to have an immediate impact on your roster as well. So once you have pulled that Behold, now you've got to deal with the fallout from having 1-star crew kind of clogging up your roster. And that's one of the biggest dangers of making the wrong purchase here in the honor sale. So for any new player, early game player, especially one that is not invested very much, I would be very careful about pulling too many of these legendary Beholds, and they should absolutely not ever pull the legendary pull, the random, where you don't get any choice whatsoever. So if you have just started playing, the chances are that most of your legendary cards are going to be non-portal. They'll be ones you may have earned by making a random top 1500 an event, certainly ones you've earned from the free giveaways, from mega recurring events. Maybe you got the Innovator ROM that was offered in the Thresholds last week in the Galaxy event. So these are the cards that you're going to start earning up, but you will not be able to finish. You cannot retrieve on them. They're typically not offered in packs, at least not right away. So you'd have to wait sometimes up to a year for them to even appear in the portal, if at all. Some crew never do. Honor Hall crew never do. Giveaway crew and event crew certainly will, but some crew, like the ones that appear in the Fleet Boss battle stages, like Demo Man Scotty, will never appear in a pack for you. You cannot finish them off in any way except for with citations. And more we are seeing the developers offer crew to us that are going to be exclusive in this way. Certainly the Gauntlet exclusives have been kind of the oldest example of this, and they have never, apart from a few random instances where they've been offered in packs, and usually that's a mistake. I think Locutus showed up in a board pack once. But with the Voyage exclusive, certainly, with their extremely high Voyage power, one of them's even a good Gauntleteer, and those, they have not given any indication that these will ever be available in any other way but through the Voyage drops. You will need those gold citations if you want to see them at full power. When you do get them to full power, you're going to be getting very strong Tier 2, even Tier 1 crew. So if at all possible, especially in the early game, you're going to want to save up to chunks of 40,000 honor. You're going to want to pull on these legendary Behold Plus citations, because they are going to get you online fastest with fully fused 5-star gold crew. Your mega crew, your displaced Boimler this month. You're going to want to finish, if you're a brand new player, get that side primary online, so that you can start running continuum missions. Extremely important for an early game player to get one of each primary skill in a maximum fully fused crew. And the only way to do that in a lot of cases for an early game player is to use citations to finish off a crew they've already gotten for free. In the last mega, if you got Concerning Flight Janeway, you may have a great engineering primary crew. Got to finish her off. You probably don't have the dilithium, and if you do, you're going to be spending it on your shuttle bays, expanding your crew slots, certainly. So these citations are what you're going to need. So for anybody, probably in even the first year of the game, maybe 6 months certainly, but even the first year, you're probably going to want to save up to 40,000 honor chunks and get these Behold Plus citations. There's a shift. Once you hit the mid-game where you have collected a good deal of the purples, where your roster, maybe you've been able to get enough dilithium to expand your crew slots a few times, and now the focus shifts from, you've already completed all of your commons, uncommons, and rares. They're already fully fused and frozen, and now you want to start getting collections to get some roster-wide improvement. At that point, that's when you can start shifting over and considering, maybe I have enough citations banked. Maybe I can already fully fuse any giveaway crew, any mega crew as they come out. And now I should start to consider maybe the long-term investment of getting more golds, getting the choice of what I need, but being able to put them in for collection value in my roster. And at that point, usually in the 1 to 2 mark, when you're in the firm mid-game, you're going to want to consider doing these daily legendary beholds. It feels like you're missing out, right? Fear of missing out. If you're not doing your 1 per day, maybe you're not maximizing value, but trust me, your roster will become so clogged with 1-star golds. And as this portal grows and grows, one of the problems we've seen with even premium packs is that you could find a gold card in a Behold and then never see it again for 3, 4, even 5 years, maybe never, if they continue to release crew at this pace. Just the size of the portal has gotten so immense that the odds are that being able to fuse up a crew naturally, like in the early years of the game, just is not going to happen for you. So about the 1 to 2 mark, if you've been playing the game enough, if you've frozen enough purples that crew space is becoming a little bit relaxed, you have a little more to play with, then consider doing these daily legendary beholds. One more thing I want to show you before I start pulling a couple of packs here is I've done the work for the very late game players, for players that are worried about what we call the all fused behold, the AFB. It's the dreaded AFB. That means opening up a Begold and having every single one of the crew be one you already have. Already have fully fused, 5 stars, and nowhere to go but just to the honor, to the airlock, to get 550 honor out of it. Stinks to take your 10,000 or even potentially 40,000 honor investment and reduce it down to 550. Here's a website that's been around for a very long time. You'll notice it kind of looks like the Da Vinci Code here, but it's one of my favorites to come back to. It's decode.france, and this is a combinatoric site where we can enter in. And you'll notice here I've kind of pre-filled the exact number of portal legendaries that are available. So if you were to open packs, this is the pool you're drawing from. If we're going to choose 3, so that's combinatorics, right? 671 pool, choose 3. And then how many of these are going to be the ones that maybe we already have fully fused? If I am a roster that has 535 fully fused cards, we see over here that's where we're at a coin flip's chance of this Behold coming up as an all frozen Behold. We don't want that to happen. Let's reduce it a little bit. Let's get down to 500. If we were going to have 500 fully fused crew in our roster, what are the chances now? Chances are it thinks I'm a robot. Let's see. Here we go, down to about 40%. So this is the sweet spot. If you are an extreme late game player and you have anywhere over 500 crew, you may want to give a second thought to continuing to pull on those daily just 10,000 honor begolds without the citation. And then what you want to maybe do is circle back and just do the legendary Behold plus citation, so that even if your Behold comes up all fused and you just turn it into honor, at least you've got something to show for your investment. You've got citations to throw on and finish some crew and make some progress in collections at that point. So enough ado. I'm firmly in the mid game, so let's go ahead and do our first legendary Behold. Behold. Hey, this looks good. So I'm going to take a quick look at Governor Worf here. Not very many at all traits here to look at. So just the 2 collections, not looking great for me. Very old crew, not very much power here, but it is a Worf persona, so some potential there. Gladiator Spock I use all the time. Not only is he a great crew to throw on shuttles during faction events that feature Spock, but also it's a really good Flea Boss battle crew. But I've already got him at the 1st star, I've already realized that. But now look at this, we've got 4 different trait boosting collections here, looking pretty good. Let's see Rakia, she's a recent crew from 2023. This crew also kind of at a deficit for traits, but also featuring a medicine primary. And I happen to know that she's actually a pretty strong card here. But again, we've got the Writer collection, which I've already maxed out. Elysian Kingdom is just a vanity collection, so no trait boost there. So if I maxed her out, she might gain some med shuttle or med voyage seats for me. But really, just with the 1 collection, it's got to be Spock here. I want to work towards finishing him off for sure. All right, and I'm going to do 1 Behold plus citation for y'all here.
Behold.
Ooh, a little bit of a nice choice here. I love this chapel. So this was, I believe, a pack chapel. So I never got around to retrieving her, but that mid-primary is interesting, and chapel variants get a lot of events, so that's interesting. I've already realized all the potential on Bem here. I could certainly max him out. He did gain the playful trait recently, so he's actually got a pretty good collection profile. We've got 6 stat boosting plus animated. Just the 1 threshold gives you a stat. But he's at level 100 for me, and every once in a while we'll gain a gauntlet seat. And that's about where I like him. He does not show up on Fleet Boss Battle usage at all, and I'm not in a big rush to get him finished off. This Vosh is abysmal, just 2 skills. We have Vanity Collection and just 1 stat boosting collection, forget about it. I think the play here might be Chapel. We still got 1, 2, 3 plus the Vanity Collection here. I think that's reasonable. I'd love to have her on my roster. Let's go ahead and grab a new card. So a good chance to talk about, always choose the star, right? That's another common thing, a bit of advice you might hear. So if you want to conserve on your crew slots, always just throw a star on somebody, get a better chance of maybe making somebody stronger or getting them closer to collections. But if you get a great crew like this that might be very difficult to retrieve otherwise, always jump on it. You know what, you can make room for it, and it's just going to add so much more value to your roster in the long run. So that's enough to talk about today. We're going to hit on the honor sale a little bit more tomorrow, get a little bit more to discuss with the Critical Chronotons event and how to navigate that. But for now, thanks for joining, and live long and prosper.